Hey everybody. Okay, so as promised, I am coming to you with another Carmelo Anthony update. Okay, so apparently there is a attorney. Check him out. It's called The Lead Attorney on YouTube. This guy right here. Lead Attorney. He posted this 7 days ago, so I'm reacting to it now after watching it a couple of times over to get the whole feel of it. Okay? Now, I'm going to let him talk to you. By the way, shout out to the Lead Attorney on YouTube. Go to his channel, check him out, show him the love.
To expound on that further, because you had not heard anyone make that point. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm giving you the perspective, not of a YouTuber reacting to news, but of an attorney who's practiced for more than 20 years. This is behind the scenes info, so let's get to it. Now, let me explain on how Carmelo's mother basically sentenced her own son Carmelo to an extra 10 to 30 more years in prison, and what she can do about it now to try to fix it. I explained in my last video that Carmelo's mother apparently hired a family spokesperson, one Dominique Alexander. This Dominique calls himself a minister of justice, whatever that is. Dominique is a convicted felon. He's alleged to have beaten his girlfriend. Then he got a new girlfriend, and when that girlfriend left out of the apartment, the good minister grabbed that woman's 2-year-old baby and shook him until that baby got brain damage. The good minister pled guilty in that case to felony charges and was in prison. Now, this is the man that Carmelo's mom chose to speak on Carmelo and the family's behalf. The good baby-shaking minister.
I mean, really? That's who you hire? That's who you want representing your son?
Did exactly what you would expect a convicted felon to do when handling Carmelo's.
He's a grifter. Fire him immediately for the sake of your son.
Case. He absolutely destroyed it. How? He ostracized the most important person in Carmelo's case. Now, who is that? Is that the judge?
No.
Is that the prosecutor?
No.
The most important person alive in
Now, before he says it, I want y'all to pay attention because this is important.
Carmelo's case is actually Jeff Metcalf, the father of the young man that Carmelo Anthony killed, Austin Metcalf. The father, Jeff Metcalf, is the linchpin to Carmelo's entire future. Let me tell you that in a murder case where the victim is gone, the case lives on through the victim's next of kin. When a parent...
And all those jurors are going to be looking at the Metcalf family, especially Jeff Metcalf, Megan Metcalf, and their young boy Hunter.
Has to bury his child. Everyone looks to that parent to gauge how to react. Judges consciously and subconsciously look at the parent's facial expression when they are testifying on the witness stand. Prosecutors run all their plea offers through the parents. Reporters knock on the parents' doors for statements, and they aim their cameras at the parents when the verdicts drop. And the jurors, oh my goodness, the jurors hang on every word of the parents. Notice every little movement, every gesture. In this case, Jeff Metcalf, the father, is not just a spectator in the case. He's the conscience of the entire community. If you win Jeff, you win all the sympathy. But if you alienate him, you can go to prison for life.
Yes, you can, because there's no remorse. That's the main reason. There's no remorse. You're not showing remorse when you alienate the victim of this. The victims are currently not the Anthony family, but the Metcalf family. And you have alienated them. You have not shown 1 ounce of remorse towards that family for stealing their son away from them for life.
Now, months ago, Jeff Metcalf, the father, he did something unthinkable.
I couldn't have done this. This man...
They always do, shoved a microphone in this grieving father's face and asked this Carmelo Anthony. Do you know what he said? Jeff Metcalf said, and I quote, "You know what? I've already forgiven this person. Already." Now, that is amazing. It's amazing that Jeff would have the strength to do that, because I would be incapable of that.
I would also be, I would try my best, but I would be incapable, I believe, of forgiving the person that took my child from me.
The wisdom, the strength, I just would not have. Now, that baby shaking minister is not going to know this, but when a father makes a statement like that, a statement of forgiveness, the entire Carmelo team has to drop everything. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Your entire legal strategy.
And they didn't do that.
I can tell you as an attorney that you call an emergency meeting with all the lawyers, all the family, maybe PR consultants if the family has means for that. You bring everyone together to get them on the same page and let them know that this case will revolve around one person, Jeff Metcalf, the father. So when Carmelo's mother heard what Jeff said about her son, what do you think that this lady did? She handed the microphone at a press conference to the baby shaking minister of justice. And at that press conference, where Jeff Metcalf showed up to pray with the family, the baby shaking minister called the police and had Jeff kicked out. But can you believe it? They kicked Jeff Metcalf, who came there to pray. They kicked him out of the press conference. The entire
No remorse.
spectacle went viral within an hour. Do you know what else? Carmelo Anthony's prison sentence was prolonged by 10 to 25 years within that same hour. Now, why do I say that? What did the family show Jeff in that instance? Jeff the father. They showed Jeff that there was no remorse. They showed Jeff that there would be no mutual prayers. There would be no reconciliation. Showed that man nothing but hostility and aggression. The same hostility, the same aggression maybe that was at that track meet that fateful afternoon, that was under that tent. Some of you are not going
Now
to
we see where Daddy got, where Carmelo got it. Now we see. They got it from the family, obviously, because there's no remorse. Instead of kicking the father out, they should have prayed with him. He's right.
Father is. You just don't know how these criminal sentences work. I see your comments on YouTube and Twitter. You think, oh, this person killed that person, so put the killer in prison and throw away the key. Put him there for life. That's what you guys say. You have no idea. I will tell you that people kill people all the time, and the sentences range from insanity on the low end to insanity on the high end. Now, who controls where the sentence is going to fall? At the end of the day, it is the sentiment of the community that will decide. And in this case, Jeff Metcalf is at the center of that entire community. Now, let's do this. Let's suppose...
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because he plays this. He does 4 cases, okay?
Whole thing. He gets behind the wheel of a vehicle.
He's talking about a
He
person.
gets into an accident. Now, here's the thing. He kills 4 people.
He's talking about a DUI case.
He intentionally gets hammered and gets cooked, and then he takes 4 lives. Now, little law student of mine, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to determine how many years in prison you would get. Ready? Go. And while you are considering your sentence, just know that in this case, the affluenza case, if you're old enough to remember, this young man, he took 4 lives. But how many years did the judge give him? Well, the judge gave him 10 years for taking 4 lives. 10 years. But here's the kicker. It wasn't 10 years of prison. The judge gave him 10 years of straight probation. This man took 4 lives and got a straight probationary sentence. Not 1 day in prison. Did you guess it? Did you guess 0 years? Now, here is the second of 4 scenarios. A football player gets hammered just the same. He gets into his Bentley, he's an NFL player, and starts speeding. Of course, he runs over a guy, kills him dead. How many years in prison did this NFL player get for the killing? Now, the victim is gone forever. You got 5 seconds to guess. How many years? And while you are considering how many years, all you football fans know that Mike Vick, the quarterback of the great Atlanta Falcons, got 2 years in prison for dog fighting. That's 2 years in prison for dogs. How many years did this NFL player get for actually killing a man? That's right. Dante Stallworth gets hammered, gets in his car, and kills a man in the street. He gets 30 days in the county jail. No prison at all. Just 30 days in jail. Mike Vick gets 2 years in prison for dogs. Now, my little law student, you ask, well, how can that be? What happened in that case? Well, I'll tell you. Dante Stallworth showed
This is where it matters.
extreme remorse. He apologized, and most importantly, he reached a financial settlement with the family. Dante,
He realized he screwed up, and he did what he had to do to fix it, and he owned up to it. Unlike the Anthony family.
went into his pocket and got the family on his side. Now let me ask you, did Carmelo Anthony's family do that? Dante slid the victim's family some money. Carmelo Anthony's family got over $500,000. Did Carmelo's mom do any of that? Did the mom even offer to pay for the funeral?
No. They bought their son a brand new car. They bought themselves a brand new house. I'm assuming from what I've heard, from reports I've heard. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard. And of course, I saw a picture with him leaning up against the car that said happy birthday with a big red bow on it. That's where I'm getting that from. Yeah, that's what they did with the money. Not show any remorse to the Metcalf family. As a matter of fact, they're making the Metcalfs out to be the villains, and they're the victims, apparently.
Guys, I'm going to tell you, you do not know there are so many levels to criminal law. Now, 2 more quizzes to go. You're my law student, and you are guessing these sentences. But there are a few of you that are listening, maybe 4 or 6, that are going to get an A in my class. You're going to be the A students. You're going to say, well, Professor Lee, I can distinguish those cases. In both of those cases, yes, the defendants did kill their victims, but it really wasn't intentional because they were under the influence and they were driving. The Carmelo Anthony case is different. It was not vehicular. It was with a knife. There was direct violence. Now, if you thought of that, then you would get an A in my class. That's a great point. So let me give you a case that is a little closer to home. Now, let's take a pause from this Carmelo Anthony insanity for a second to have a quick word from our sponsor, Chapter Net. If someone you learn...
Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Somebody drove by my house on a tractor of all
on
things.
Medicare, this matters. The Department of Justice just revealed a huge fraud case against
Now, let me
Medicare workers.
skip ahead because I don't want to hear about that right now.
Carmelo Anthony dumpster fire. The guy gets mad at his wife, and rightly so, he thinks that she's cheating on him. He goes and loads up his shotgun. He goes outside where she's standing. Now, she's unarmed, and she's recording him on her phone. He cocks the shotgun and points it directly at her teeth. He says, all right, goodbye. You are going to meet Jesus. And then he blows her away. She was unarmed and in Texas. Do you know who else was unarmed? Do you know who else was in Texas? That's right, Anthony Metcalf, Carmelo's victim. Now, the jury in the case
Actually, it's Austin,
gave
but
that man just 10 years in prison, and he is eligible for parole after only 5 years. Think about it, 5 years in prison for a straight-up killer. I am positive that every single one of you would have said, lock him up for life, lock him up forever. She's a woman, she was unarmed, couldn't even hit him, and he only got 10 years or maybe 5 years to serve. Now you ask, well, Professor Lee, why so little time? Well, the defense team in that case did a great job of humanizing the husband, humanizing the killer, and getting the jury on his side. The jury didn't
I don't know how they managed that, but they did it.
hate the killer. In Carmelo's case, do you think the jury would hate Carmelo if Austin's father, Jeff, pleaded with the jury for mercy, pleaded with the jury?
They wouldn't. But when Jeff Metcalf walks up in there and tells the story in his victim impact statement about how his family was harassed, doxxed, repeatedly called out, everything else. Oh, that's gonna look so bad.
For grace is seen praying and reconciling and crying with the karmelo family. Everyone in that courtroom would be crying, listening to Jeff's victim impact statement. The judge would be crying, the bailiffs would be crying, the attorneys would be crying, the jury.
But what will happen is everybody will be looking at them with disgust.
Believe me, everyone in that courthouse would have their eyes full of tears. At the end of the day, we are all human. Karmelo would have been spared. He would have not gotten a lot of time. You can absolutely get a judge and jury on your side. You just have to know how to do it. Now, and this is the last case, and this is for all of my A students. Let's go back to the vehicular homicide case. You think that you can get off easy by killing somebody with your car, remember? Remember when you thought, oh, well, it's because the guy who killed 4 people was driving. That's why he got 0 years in prison. Okay, that guy killed 4 people. What about a guy that killed 6 people in his car at a parade? You got 5 seconds to consider how many years this guy would get for killing 6 people. If the first guy got 0 years
Now,
in prison,
I'm going to pause it for a second. The first guy got no time in prison, right? And we all know that he apologized. He showed great remorse. He was doing victim, trying to help the victims and do whatever he can to show how sorry he was. He learned from his lessons. Let's see how this guy did.
for killing 4 people, how many years in prison did this guy get for killing 6 people? All right, got your answer? Don't you know that this guy got 1,000 years? 1,000. They calculated it out to like 1,067 years. He got 6 life sentences and an additional 760 years for the people that he hurt with his car. Now, how do you go from 0 to 1,000? Well, this guy got every single person in the community to hate him. Daryl Brooks never apologized to any of the family members and was hostile to everyone in the courthouse during this court case. The judge ended up blasting him. So now, my law student, you can see the importance of getting the families, getting the community on your side.
Which the Anthony family has not done. They did not do it. Instead, they acted like they were the victims. They acted like that the Metcalfs were the ones that were the criminals in this case. With the harassment, with the doxing, with the everything else that was going on. That's been going on over the past couple of months concerning this case. And yet, not 1 ounce of remorse has been shown to the Metcalfs from the Anthonys. What they do then, take their kid and leave that area. Supposedly because they were receiving THREATS, which is BS. Okay? So keep that in mind. So now they don't have the community on their side. They don't have the Metcalfs on their side. How do you think they're going to do with Karmelo and during the case? Not very good. Because the jury's going to look and say that this kid had 0 remorse. He was someplace he wasn't supposed to. It's going to turn out where this kid ends up getting consecutive life sentences because of his family and because of that fake minister. Instead of teaching your son and learning and showing him, listen, you screwed up, you did something that you shouldn't have done, you got to learn from that. He probably would get a couple of years and come out on this for the better. A better member of society. But instead, you played the victims. Instead, you ostracized the Metcalf family, the actual victims. So, yeah. When your son goes to prison for consecutive life sentences, not to mention, he will be going to a Texas state prison. You guys might want to check into that, because the Texas state prison system, from what I've heard, you guys all talk about that WHITE supremacy groups and things like that. Well, where do you think they are? In the Texas state prison system. And you are not helping your son, not in the least. This man is 100% correct. You should hire him if you have any hopes of saving your son. Not that I think your son should get off scot-free, because I don't. I feel that he should pay for the crime in which he committed. If that were my kid who did that, I would want him to learn from his mistakes in life. That's what makes you a good parent. Your son could go into this, do maybe 10 years, get out in 5 with probation on good behavior, and learn and come out and have a life. Unlike the victim, Austin, who has no life now. But instead of doing that, you're ostracizing this family, and you're then turning the entire community against you and your son. Just saying. Because you guys are acting like you were wronged when you weren't wronged. The Metcalfs were wronged. They're the ones who had their son stolen. Instead of working with that family, you ostracize the family. He's right, you're wrong.
See the difference between
You should get rid of that guy, the fake minister, and hire him.
and 1,000 years. Is the Karmelo family doing that? Is the Karmelo family getting the Austin Metcalf family on their side by kicking out Austin's father at the press conference? It's insanity how they are handling the Karmelo case, and Karmelo will pay the price. Now, people have asked, they said, well, Lee, if you represented the Karmelo family, how would you have handled it?
Now, I want y'all to remember, he's an actual attorney who's practiced for 20 years. He stated.
If Jeff Metcalf showed up at the press conference. Guys, there are so many ways that this press conference could have been used to benefit not only Karmelo, but both families' entire well-being. I would have already talked to Karmelo's family about how important Jeff is to the entire case. Hopefully, the Karmelo family would have already communicated with Jeff numerous times, expressing remorse, expressing sorrow.
They said it once briefly during a press conference.
Offering apologies for the incident. And if Jeff...
And actually how the mother did it was, of course we feel sympathy for the family, but my son
shows up at that press conference, guess what? We are not having a Karmelo press conference anymore. We are having a joint press conference. And guess what?
Didn't happen though.
Jeff Metcalf gets the microphone first.
But that didn't happen.
We stand behind him while he talks. He gets the first words, and he can talk for as long as he wants. Now, a few of you might say, well, what happens if he goes off the rails? What happens if he starts saying bad things about Karmelo? Well, good. Let him say it. He's not saying anything that we all haven't felt, and you know what we do? We stand there behind him, and we take it. We take our loss with grace and patience and understanding. This man just lost a son. We are taking all of his heat. We know that the jury is going to see that too. The jury is going to be watching our demeanor while this man is up there blazing us. And after he's finished, we get on the microphone What do? We express our understanding of his words. We express how justified he is in feeling everything that he feels. All parents can understand where this man is coming from. We thank him for his strength to join us. We tell everyone that we welcome this and all future opportunities to listen to Jeff. We express remorse at the circumstances again, and we apologize.
But of course, they didn't do any of that.
Circumstances again, and you know
they played the victim.
Shut up. We end the press conference right there. We don't go on to put the blame on racist white people. We don't go on to keep claiming self-defense. We don't need to argue self-defense at the press conference. The attorneys, if they need to, can argue that in court. Blaming white people and screaming self-defense gets us nowhere. We have to be intelligent for once in our lives. We end the press conference on the best note possible. The jury is going to see it. If the press conference goes off the rails, it's not going to hurt us because, again, everyone can understand where Jeff is coming from. And Jeff is always free to say those things anyway, inside the press conference or out. So we take the risk. But you know what? Because of what Jeff expressed in the past, and because of the man that Jeff Metcalf is, I bet that press conference would not have gone off the rails.
It wouldn't have.
I would bet that it would have been beautiful. And
it would have.
Like Jeff said, we would have prayed together and sought reconciliation together.
And you know what? That would have looked real good come the court case for your son. But did you do that? No. You listened to a psychopath who pretends to be a minister of justice.
And that would have been the start of getting so many years off Carmelo's prison sentence. So what needs to happen going forward? If the family hired me, the lead, to consult with them on this case, here's what I would tell them. First, and this is number one, fire the baby shaking minister of justice. Fire that man immediately and publicly. Let everyone know that he is no longer on the team. We've got attorneys now. We've got the lead consulting now. We definitely don't need baby shaking convicted felons representing us. Second,
this man right here is the man that could save Carmelo Anthony. This man is the man that could bring these families together and stop all of this craziness. You need Mrs. Anthony for your son's sake, for your family's sake, for your sake. You need to fire Dominique Alexander and hire the lead, because this man knows what he's talking about. He's an actual attorney with 20 years experience, maybe more. Who knows? And this Dominique Alexander, all he's doing is causing chaos for your team. All he's doing is causing drama, and he's going to keep adding time to your son's sentence.
Jeff, the father, to choose a new spokesman. I tell him to think of someone like a retired pastor, a real pastor, or a retired judge with impeccable standing. We are giving Jeff the control of this because Jeff is the person who can do the most to help Carmelo and to heal the community. Third, I would tell the family, Carmelo Anthony's family, to cut a check to Jeff immediately for restitution of the funeral. Then give him some more money for a counsel, maybe some more money for a memorial. I'm thinking at least $50,000. And here's the thing, we do it quietly. We don't tell a soul. It'll show Jeff our commitment, and maybe Jeff will mention it to the community later on. But even if he doesn't, fine. We still give him the money privately.
Although I do believe the Metcalfs would mention it if the Anthony family had tried to be anything like this man is saying, which they clearly have not been.
So right now, 24 hours, then I would...
Instead of hiring people like Charleston White, who obviously is the R word, and Dominique Alexander, who obviously has a real issue with pale people, And you got this man right here who actually is an attorney, who actually knows what he's talking about, who makes sense.
Also set up a new GoFundMe, and I would add Jeff as a co-trustee to that. The new GoFundMe would be
And I
for
guarantee you
scholarship
everybody would donate to that.
Austin's name. And we, the Carmelo family, make the first contribution. I'm thinking maybe another 50,000. Now the Carmelo family has already collected 500,000. Some of that's going to be used on the lawyers, even though apparently Carmelo.
I can guarantee you guys, if you got, I can guarantee the Metcalfs this. If they, or not the Metcalfs, the Anthony family this. If you fired Dominique Alexander and did what this man said and hired him and fired Charleston White and hired this man and set up a new good GoFundMe in honor of Austin Metcalf's name for a scholarship, I guarantee you everybody would donate. Why? Because you're showing remorse. You're coming together as a community to help build up Carmelo, not keep him down.
Talk about that in another video. So the family can afford to give $100,000 to the man who can help their son the most. It's an investment in Carmelo and towards communal reconciliation. Guys, as you can see, there is so much that goes into a criminal case, and Carmelo's mother is so ignorant in hiring a baby-shaking minister of justice, in hiring someone with true knowledge and experience and wisdom. Do you think that it's possible for Carmelo's mom to turn this around and get Jeff on
Not if she keeps going the way she's going. That's my answer.
her side, on Carmelo's side, or do you think that it's just too late? Let me know in the comments.
All right, I'm going to show you the comments. I want you all to hear some of these comments that people have made, okay? And you'll hear why I bring this up. Okay, so Catherine Fisher, 6 days ago. It's too late. The Anthony family's behavior towards Austin, even requesting for his brother's arrest for bullying, it's disgusting. And then we go down. Never interrupt the enemy while they are busy making a mistake. Then this whole situation is utterly demonic. The most stunning thing is when he showed up at the press conference and the baby shaker, I'm just reading it, had the nerve to highlight that he was where he, literally where he didn't belong. Okay, wait, let me redo this. Highlight that he was where he didn't belong. Are you kidding me? This is the whole disaster happened because Anthony was literally where he didn't belong. Okay? Now, let's move down. Jeff Metcalf also proved you can just leave when being asked to leave without incident. I won't say what he said, but because of guidelines, but it's highlighted. You could see it. The grifters around Carmelo rejected the father because he was a threat to their money-making opportunity at the time. Okay, that was from CHEBA2K1. Okay, from Cage Ungajiji, CAJUNGIGI. The Carmelo family spoke only of their family at first, from saying they were being harassed, talked about not getting the money that was donated to them. His parents are out of touch with reality. Baby shaken minister of justice is wild. You, sir, are joy. As a minority, I say it's disgusting how Carmelo's families turned this into a race issue for money. They are disgraceful people. This young man made a terrible error in judgment, most likely from poor upbringing. He must pay the price for his violence that took a life and destroyed a dozen others with his evil actions. Okay? And it goes on. It's too late. I live about 20 minutes away from where this happened. Nobody in the community is behind this kid after the nonstop gaslighting. Let me read that again. This is from @Diakin, the @ symbol, DIAAKIN. He says, and I quote, "It's too late. I live about 15 to 20 minutes away from where this happened. Nobody," and that's in caps, "nobody in the community is behind this kid. After the nonstop gaslighting and disrespect his family has shown the Metcalfs, that guy they hired has been and always will be a buffoon. Nobody takes him seriously, and the fact that the family would stand behind him while he spoke such foolishness just shows you how out of touch they are. They literally thought the public was stupid and would rally behind this nonsense. They gambled big and lost. Now it's consequence time." And that's from somebody directly from the community where this happened. So when this goes to trial in the community, because that's where it's going to go to trial, in Texas, in the community where it occurred, they're not going to have any sympathy. This kid is going to go away for the remainder of his life if he's found guilty because of his parents and this Dominique Alexander guy. Let's continue with the comments. Okay, so if my child committed such an act, I'd be on my knees begging for forgiveness and paying for the funeral. I would too, personally. I guarantee you the judge who has been assigned to this case will not be crying for Carmelo under any circumstances. That's because the guy that he got picked for this case is a hard ass. He is a conservative hard ass. He has done cases in the past with juveniles, and it never works out well for them. If that was my child who blanked someone, I would not be in the limelight. I would hold my head in shame. The parents look up to a baby-shaking preacher. Shows you their level of morality. Can only imagine how Carmelo was raised. These comments go on and 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 on. You get my point? I mean, thousands of comments. None of them are in support of the Anthony family. That should tell the Anthony family something right there. That they're going to lose their son forever because of their actions and the way they're treating this case. They're showing no remorse. They're playing the victims. Instead of showing remorse and praying with the actual victims. Have you even apologized to his twin brother, Hunter? His identical twin who he shared a womb with? Have you even apologized for taking his twin? Do you know what it's like for a twin to lose a twin? It's like they lose part of their soul. I knew someone who was a twin and they lost their twin brother. It was like part of them was missing always. That's what you people do not seem to get. Your son did something horrible. He had a horrible moment of bad judgment. He made a mistake. We get that. But you showing no remorse and protecting and hiding him away until the trial and showing absolutely no remorse and getting people to go after the Metcalfs and getting people to go after this reporter. You're yourselves going after this reporter, Sarah Fields. All you're doing is showing the community how horrible, how you show no sympathy, no empathy for the Metcalfs, how you are playing the victims, and how your son hasn't learned anything, and that you taught your son this. That's the only thing you're showing us. Anyway, so that's that. Check out the lead attorney. Check him out on YouTube because he is awesome. He knows what he's talking about. He's an actual attorney with 20 years experience. Check him out, like and subscribe, show him the love. And don't forget, like and subscribe here too. Show me that love. Help me get to 80 so we can go live. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you later. And I will pray for the Anthony family, and I will pray for the Metcalf family. The Metcalfs deserve my prayers. The Anthony family, I'm praying for them that they get some solace or some insights and get rid of this fake minister and hire somebody like the lead, and definitely this Charleston White character. Holy cow. Are you really trying to send your kid away for life? Forever and ever and ever and never ever ever see him again? Because that's what's going to happen with this Charleston White guy, because this guy's crazy. He was literally jumping around dancing for joy, talking about how he fantasizes about WHITE people, DIE, and how he would stand over that and celebrate it. What is wrong with people like that? Instead of being like this man right here, an intelligent, well-spoken, well-thought-out statement of facts, hire this man. Get rid of the other two and save your son. The Metcalfs, I'm sure, don't want your son to go to prison forever. They just want him to learn and for their son to get justice. What is wrong with that? Your son made a mistake, because I know if that was my kid and he did that to somebody, I'd be on my knees every day praying with that family, telling my son how wrong he was and how he needs to pray with the family too. Because this kid obviously has some anger issues. And then for them to turn around and make it worse, in my opinion, by dissing the name of Austin Metcalf by saying he was a drug addict on fentanyl, of all things. Now, that was already debunked. That report was already debunked. That fake autopsy was already debunked, to my knowledge. And yet, Charleston White decided to come out and say some shit like that. Now, the Metcalfs are suing him for defamation of character, which they should do in their son's honor. Because how dare you, sir? This kid had nothing but the rest of his life to live. And people like you are coming out saying stuff like that just to draw the attention away from Carmelo and put it on Austin. Because we all know that's a lie. It's a lie. He was not on that drug. Because anybody who plays professional sports or sports in high school knows. Have you seen what football practice is like? Have you seen what track practice is like? They're getting up at the crack of dawn before school, getting ready, getting to school, doing at least minimum 2 hours practice before class, doing all day in school, then immediately going to practice after classes. You are not doing that if you are doing what he said that Austin did. You are not playing sports and doing that. So please stop that nonsense, Mr. White, Charleston White, because it's absolutely ridiculous that you would even say that. None of your argument makes sense. You spoke to the Anthony family once or twice, and then you completely flipped the script and went from telling everybody that the kid was wrong, he shouldn't have brought it to school, shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that, the family's wrong, this and that and the other, to speaking with the family, getting paid off, and then all of a sudden flipping the script. And I'm assuming you were paid off. I don't know if you were actually, because that's what the reports are all saying, is that you were paid off, because nobody flips that quick. Nobody. Okay? Nobody flips the way they feel about something that fast. Unless there's something funny going on. And yeah, I would definitely say there's something funny going on with that. Because of the fact that he has so many subscribers. He's such a popular YouTuber or such a popular TikToker. He has such a big following that all his followers will get on board with him now. But let me tell you something right now, Mr. Charleston White. This will, at the end of the day, still go to court. This will, at the end of the day, still be in front of a judge and a jury of his peers. And guess what? No matter what the rest of the world says, where he will be tried in Texas, that community is not behind Carmelo or the Anthony family. They're behind the Metcalf family. So guess what will happen? This young man will enter court and literally have everybody in that area against him because of your antics and the family's antics. Show remorse, realize what he did, help him learn from it, help him grow from it, and join the Metcalfs in bringing them together, like the lead said. But you won't do that because you won't get the money then, right? There'll be no money passed out to people, right? Maybe keep that in mind, guys. I'm just saying. Seems awful fishy to me. I'm just saying. Anyway, to the Anthonys, I would say hire the lead. Fire Charleston White. Fire Dominique Alexander. Hire the lead because you might actually have a shot at saving your son then. And as to the other two, listen, I'm a nobody. Y'all want to come after me? Come at me. I don't care. I'm a nobody. Nobody listens to me anyway. But I still have an opinion. And that opinion is I hate to see 2 lives lost. He made a mistake. He's a 17-year-old kid with too much testosterone. And he wasn't taught properly, apparently. I don't know. Or he has major anger issues that need a psychologist to check at. Because people don't react that way. I don't care what the kid said. You don't react that way. And I don't care if it was a rubber band that he hit him with. You don't react that way. I don't care if it was water poo-poo. You don't react that way. Come on. I remember when I was going to school, okay, if you got into an argument with somebody, you did not need to worry that your existence would be no longer. You would go out, you'd have an argument, you'd have a fight, you'd throw some dukes or whatever, and then you'd say, yeah, my mama can kick your mama's butt, my daddy can kick your daddy's butt, and my dog will bite your dog. And then you're friends the next day. There's none of that happens anymore. What happens now? You bring a multi-purpose tool or a pocket blank, you know what I'm saying, and you don't like what someone says to you, so you do that. And then instead of working with the actual victims for victim impacts and everything, oh no, they get Dominique Alexander, an ex-felon, a felon who did one of the most heinous crimes you can do, admitted to doing one of the most heinous crimes you could do, and you have him representing your son and Charleston White instead of someone like the lead, an actual attorney who knows what he's talking about and is not making it about race, but what it's actually about. A tragic event that one kid made a tragic mistake and another kid unfortunately lost his life due to it. So, if you love your son, you will get rid of the two people that keep continuously trying to rage bait people with their racially charged comments, and you will hire someone like the lead to help you and your son. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. So, keep that in mind and like and subscribe. Check out the lead attorney on YouTube. Show him the love. Give him the like. Give him the subscribe and show him the love. And don't forget, like and subscribe here too. Help me get to 80 so we can go live. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you later. And Mrs. Anthony, from one mom to another, I am truly sorry for everything that you are going through. But you need to teach your son a lesson. He needs to learn from this so he doesn't continue to break the laws of the land and spend the rest of his life in prison. Instead of having a life, growing up, getting married, having a family of his own, which you, I'm sure, would want for your son. Just like the Metcalf family. Mrs. Metcalf, I am truly, truly very sorry for what you and your family have been going through. My prayers and my thoughts are with you. May God have mercy on you guys and your family. And I wish and pray that this is over for you soon and that justice gets served for your son. And I personally, that Charleston White guy, I would sue him for defamation of character after he said what he said about your son. Because that's not necessary. He lied. He knew that report was debunked. He knew it was a lie. He knew it was a falsehood. And he still put it on his thing for his followers to see. He still said those words with thousands of followers watching. So I would sue him for everything you can for defamation of character in honor of your son's memory. Screw that. Start fighting back for your son. Because these people don't deserve your sympathy and grace when they treat you like that. The actual victims. Anyway, guys, so that's it for now. Don't forget, check out the lead attorney on YouTube. Give him the like, give him the subscribe, show him the love, and like and subscribe here. And I will catch you guys on the flip. Peace.